So yesterday we had introduced the concept of shear force. We had seen that on the account of the external forces, there is a internal resistance in the beam member, which will create the shear force. But there is also the tendency of the external forces to cause moment about any point. We had seen yesterday. And that moment is also to be resisted for the beam member to be in equilibrium. That moment has also to be resisted, and that resistance to the moment will be known as the bending moment. So if we see one figure, if I take the example of this beam again, the same example yesterday which we had taken, we had cut a section here, and there was the left hand side of the section and the right hand side of the section. Now see this left hand side of the section, this was the reaction AY. What does it tend to do at this section? The AY will create, this will create a moment. This creates a moment about this section. So in which direction should it create the moment about this section? It should create a clockwise moment. Okay, this moment will be clockwise. But will this beam element move? Will this beam element rotate? It won't rotate because there will be a resisting moment in the opposite direction, which is known as the bending moment. So this is the complete FBD of this beam element. So this creates a moment about section A, section in the clockwise direction, which will be resisted by a bending moment. Resisted by a moment in anti-clockwise sense, known as bending moment. So if this is the direction of the bending moment on this left hand side of the section, then on this side of the section there will be another bending moment M. Okay, equal and opposite. So again, this is again an important criteria. We must know the bending moment at different points in the section. I mean to say, we must know the bending points at different sections of the beam, because primarily the design of the beam is dependent upon this bending moment. This is the main criteria on which the beam is to be designed. Okay, we must have clear information about the bending moment of the beam at different sections. Okay, and we will select the critical section, and on the basis of that critical section we will design the beam. So let me take an example of the beam. Let's take an example of this beam. This is the beam which is having this cross section in the form of a rectangle. Suppose this is length and this is the width of the beam. So this is the beam, this is the front view of the beam, and this here is the cross section of the beam. Fine, this is the cross section of the beam, and this axis is known as the neutral axis. This NA is the neutral axis. So whenever there will be a bending moment, suppose there is a bending moment in this direction. There is a bending moment in this direction. What will be the tendency of this bending moment? Okay, there is a bending moment acting on the beam like this. Where will this concave be? Will the concave be upwards or downwards? We can see that after some time, this beam will assume this type of shape. Okay, this type of shape, whereas the upper fibers are in tension. The upper layers are in tension, okay, because they get extended. You can see that this bottom fibers are getting compressed. Okay, these are the bottom fibers. These are getting compressed. And the upper fibers are in tension. But there is one layer where that will be neither in tension nor in compression. That is the middle layer. This layer won't be neither in tension nor in compression. It will remain as it was. Okay, this is the layer which will neither be in tension nor in compression. It is the middle layer. And in the cross section, this is known as the neutral axis. This is known as the neutral axis. So there is one relation, although it's not required. If we want to find the bending stress in the beam is given by My by Ina. This is the bending stress in the beam. So it is equal to the product of bending moment multiplied by this distance y. This y is the distance from neutral axis. Distance from neutral axis. So y can be calculated from this neutral axis either in the upward direction or in the downward direction. Can you tell me which fiber will be the critical fiber? जहां पे stress ज्यादा होगा. See, bending stress कहां पे maximum होगा? When y will be what? Maximum. So which fiber is having the maximum stress? Okay, y is maximum for what? It is maximum for these upper and bottom fibers, isn't it? So this represents y max. Suppose this b distance is equal to, suppose it is equal to 10 mm or 10 centimeter, then y max will be what? 5 centimeter, isn't it? Okay. So one thing is clear, that the stress will be more in which fibers, which are either top or bottom fibers, because they are at the maximum distance from the neutral axis. There won't be any stress in the neutral axis. Why? Because for any fiber lying on the neutral axis, y is equal to 0. Therefore, this fiber is neither in tension nor in compression. It won't be subjected to any bending stress. Okay. So obviously, to find the maximum value of the bending moment, we will be interested in the y max, in that fiber which will be subjected to the maximum bending moment. Sorry, which will be at the maximum distance from the neutral axis. Also, bending stress is dependent upon what? Bending moment, isn't it? Bending stress is also dependent upon bending moment. That's why we must know the bending moment at every section, so that we are able to locate what? The maximum value of the bending moment. Locating the maximum value of the bending moment will give us what? Maximum value of the bending stress that the material of the beam can withstand. Now we have to design the beam. Okay, we have to design the beam. Therefore, we must know what is the maximum value of the stress the beam will be able to withstand. That's why we study this bending moment diagram. Yesterday we studied shear force diagram. Today we are going to study how we are able to find the bending moment at different sections of the beam, so that we are able to locate the maximum value of the bending moment. Also see this bending stress. Okay, this is the bending stress. It is inversely proportional to what? It is inversely proportional to, this is moment of inertia about neutral axis. So if this is B and this is L, what will be the moment of inertia about the neutral axis? Neutral axis is coinciding with the centroidal axis. For the rectangle, it will be equal to what? L into B cube by 12. Fine. So more the moment of inertia, less will be the bending stress. That's why I told you we prefer the I sections, because I sections for the same material, for the same amount of material, has the maximum value of the moment of inertia, because area is distributed far away from this neutral axis. And when I section, if we use, then for the same material, it has very high moment of inertia. Since it has very high moment of inertia, the bending stress induced in the beam will be what? Less. Therefore, it is possible for giving some higher dimensions because bending stress is inversely proportional to moment of inertia. That is, higher the moment of inertia of the cross section, more will be the resistance to bending. I mean to say that higher the moment of inertia, less bending stress will be there. Less bending stress means more resistance to bending. The one which will be stressed more means that it is not resistant to that much bending. Okay, these are two different terms. One is what is bending stress, and another is what is resistance to bending. Okay, higher moment of inertia, less bending stress, but higher resistance to bending. Okay, that girl was saying that this question was out of syllabus. Someone told me that we hadn't studied the beams. Why you put the question of the this? Why we prefer the I section in the beams? But I had already told there in the moment of inertia. Okay, by this formula it is more explained. So what are the sign conventions for it? Although these details are not required, but still we can see the sign conventions. If the bending moment is clockwise towards the left-hand side of the section, if the bending moment is clockwise towards the left-hand side of the section and anti-clockwise towards the right of the section, then it is considered to be positive. So see the sign conventions. I can put an image. Let me first put this basic figure. See, this is the same beam. I have taken one section method and another I have taken as the element method. I had discussed both of these. So if I take this section, it was point A and this was point B. If I'm taking a section between A and B, what will be the effect of this bending of this force? It will create what kind of bending moment? It will create a clockwise bending moment. About which section? About this section which I have considered. Now, section के left hand side में, okay, this is the section, and from the left hand side of the section, which bending moment we are having? Clockwise, isn't it? Clockwise from left hand side of the section. So as per sign convention, what should be this bending moment? Positive or negative? This bending moment should be what? It should be positive, okay? Clockwise from left hand side of the section. So this bending moment here actually will be positive, okay? The bending moment that will be at this section is positive. And definitely the summation of all the moments created by all these loads. Now, if we are focusing on the right hand side of the section, when will be the bending moment be positive? If we are taking the right hand side of the section, when the net bending moment due to all these forces will be what? In the anti-clockwise direction. That has to be in the anti-clockwise direction. Fine. So although I can't definitely calculate here it was obviously there was only one load and that was a clockwise movement, but there are various loads we have to see depending upon the magnitude what will be the net bending moment. But since it is positive here, definitely due to these forces, what will be the resultant bending moment here? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? It has to be anti-clockwise, because for the positive bending moment, if it is clockwise from left hand side, it has to be anti-clockwise from right hand side. So from the left hand side, if it is clockwise, from the right hand side, it has to be anti-clockwise so that it is positive. Okay. See another thing here, section, this element method. I have considered a section here. Now this bending moment is what? This bending moment is in the clockwise direction. Okay, it is in the clockwise direction. So what should be the resisting bending moment? The resisting bending moment should be in the anti-clockwise direction. But what should be the bending moment here? It should be clockwise. What should be the bending moment here? If it is clockwise on the other side of this element, it should be anti-clockwise. So see, the section is here. From the left hand side, I have a clockwise movement. From the right hand side, I have an anti-clockwise movement. Therefore, this is again positive bending moment. Okay, so while we do the questions, the sign conventions will be more clear, but it should be seen that if the bending moments from the left hand side of the section are clockwise, then they are treated to be positive, and from the right hand side, they are treated to be negative. If they are treated to be positive, if the net bending moment is what? In the anti-clockwise direction. Also see the effect of this. If you can see, this is the beam clockwise. You can see this moment. It will create what kind of this? It is this kind of moment. Okay, I can show it here with the schematic. The conventions. See this positive bending moment section. Right hand side we have clockwise movement, and from the left hand side, we have clockwise, and from the right hand side we have anti-clockwise movement. See here, what is the effect of this moment, bending moment on the beam? So this thing is known as sagging of the beam. The effect of this bending moment is to create sagging in the beam. Okay, so whenever this is these are the directions of the moments, then the beam will be in the sagging. Okay, this will create the sagging of the beam. See what is the effect of this negative bending moment. Negative kab hoga? Vice versa means left hand side of the section anti-clockwise, and right hand section of we have clockwise movement. Such bending moment will be known as the hogging bending moment or negative bending moment. Okay, you can clearly see. Sometimes we also remember this is the positive smiley, happy or cheerful smiley. Sagging means negative. We used to remember in those days by this convention. Okay, this is cheerful and this is sad, but these days positive is sad in this times of COVID. Okay, so this is another way to remember what is the sagging bending moment and what is the hogging bending moment. Okay, this will be positive, this will be negative. Yesterday we had also seen the shear force conventions. Okay, again you can see that the shear force conventions. What this section is trying to do is trying to cut the beam. If you remember the sheet metal, we were using a term for cutting के लिए हम एक term use करते थे, shearing, if you remember. Okay, so that's why what is the effect of this positive shearing force? Okay, this left hand side of the section tries to go upwards and the right hand side tries to go downwards. So this is the positive shearing, and the vice versa is the negative shearing. We are not interested in the axial forces because the beams are not subjected to the axial force, they are only subjected to the transverse forces, but still you can remember the convention as we had seen in what? In the truss. This is tension and this is compression. You can draw the diagram as well if you want. Draw the shear and moment diagrams for the beam in terms of the parameters. The force is 600 pounds. The distances A and B are given. We have to draw the shear diagram as well as the bending moment diagram. So first of all, we have to draw the free body diagram of it. Although we have to remove the supports, but for the free body diagram, I'm keeping the supports here. There will be a reaction AY. There will also be AX, but AX is 0, therefore no need to take this reaction. Here we have BY. So this is 5 feet and this is 7 feet. Where you expect the reaction to be more, at AY or BY? where you expect the reaction to be more. Obviously, this support ki taraf load zyada, I mean to say the load is closer to this support A, therefore reaction A will be more. Okay, you can also see that AY plus BY will be equal to what? P, that is equal to 600. Summation of moments about any point, let's take the point to be A, has to be 0. P will create a clockwise moment, therefore P into 5. BY will create an anti-clockwise moment about A, therefore the distance will be from here. BY should be 5 into 600 divided by so BY is equal to 250 and AY will be equal to what? 350. For such cases, you can simply remember the formula as well. AY would have directly been B equal to B by L into the load, where B was how much? B was 7, this was 12, multiplied by 350. And BY would have been A by L into P. This would have been equal to 250. Okay. And if A and B were same, then the reactions would have been same, which we had seen yesterday. So let's find the shear forces. For the shear force, we have to take a section. Let's take a section here. This section is known as, suppose it is known as section 1-1. This section is 1-1 section, and it is at a distance of x1 from the support A. It is at a distance of x1 from the support A. Yesterday we were not interested in the distances, but today there is a concept of the moment as well. Therefore, we have to take the distances. So what will be the shear force at A? The shear force at A, it will be equal to what? Although I told you that it is not, we are not in the position to calculate the shear force at A. So just to the right of A, in fact, okay, shear force at right of A, just right of A. This will be equal to how much? The shear force at just right of A will be equal to what? AY, isn't it? Only this is the load acting. In which direction it is acting? Upwards. Section ke left side hai ke right side hai? It is from the left hand side of the section and it is upwards, then that is taken to be positive. Therefore, this AY is equal to how much? 350. This AY is equal to 350. That is shear force at just right of A. Will this shear force remain constant up to this point? Let me take this point to be C. Isn't it? Shear force will remain constant. Okay. Now let us see bending moment at this section X, at section 1-1. Bending moment at section 1-1. Okay, bending moment at section 1-1. What should be the bending moment at section 1-1? It is the algebraic sum of all the bending moments, either towards the left side of the section or towards the right hand side. Currently, I am interested in left hand side of the section. So which force will be responsible for the bending moment? AY. Okay, only AY will be responsible for the bending moment. Is this bending moment clockwise or anti-clockwise? It is clockwise. About this section 1-1, it is clockwise. And since it is towards from the left hand side of the section, clockwise means what? Positive. Okay, we had seen the sign convention. Therefore, bending moment at section 1-1 will be equal to M1 is a function of X. Therefore, it will be equal to what? AY multiplied by X1. ठीक है, ay multiplied by x1. So this will give us we have taken the section between A and C. This equation will help us to find the bending moment at all the points between A and B. Sorry, A and C. Okay, bending moment at section 1, 1. This is between A and C. So what should be the bending moment at A? For finding bending moment at A, x will be what? I have measured the distances x from the support A. X will be 0. Bending moment at A means that is at x1 is equal to 0. The bending moment will be 0, isn't it? What will be bending moment at C? Then I have to take x1 equal to how much? That will be equal to A1 into 5, that is equal to how much? 350 into 5, that will be equal to 1750. Okay. This will be equal to 1750 pound-feet. So this is the bending moment calculation at this section. Okay, bending moment calculation at this section. So we have got the shear force between all the points between A and C. Shear force will remain constant up to C. And we have seen the bending moment varies. It is 0 at which support? At A, and it is 1750 at what? At point C. Okay. So now let's calculate the shear forces by taking another section between B and C. Now let me take another section. Now I have discussed between A and C. This is section number 2, which is at what distance? At the distance of x2 from the support. This was AY. This is BY. Now shear force at section 2, will be equal to how much? Shear force at any section is equal to the algebraic sum of all the forces, vertical forces, including support reactions, either from the left hand side or right hand side. We are interested in LHS. Therefore, AY will be the shear force, and another shear force will be due to what? This load P. AY is from the left hand side and it is in the upward direction. It will be positive, that is plus AY. And from the left hand side of the section, P is downwards, therefore it will be minus, as per the sign conventions. This is AY was how much? 350. It will be equal to how much? The same shear force will be just at the right of the C as well. Up to C, what will happen? At A, it shoots up to what? 350, isn't it? We had seen, is it 350? Yes, at A, it just shoots up to 350. Then it remains constant up to what? C. C pe kya lag raha hai? Another load vertically downwards, which will move this by how much? Okay, it will at a section just to the right of C, the shear force will be AY plus 250 as per, and we have to take the algebraic sums as well. Okay, 350 minus 600 will be equal to what? Minus 250. That is, it will go downwards. Okay, up to C it will be 350, but here a load of 600 is acting, which reduces its value to what? Minus 250. Okay, so at just right of the C we will have this value. Okay, up to C we have constant, but just at this instant we are getting another shear force. Okay, now bending moment calculations. At section 2, the bending moment at section 2 will be algebraic sum of all the moments. Okay, algebraic sum of all the moments, either from left hand side or right hand side. We are interested in left hand side. Ay will create what moment, clockwise or anti-clockwise? Ay will create a clockwise moment, and clockwise moment is treated to be what? Positive when we are seeing the left hand side of the section. Therefore, Ay into what? Ay into what's the distance here? X2. This bending moment is positive because it will create clockwise moment about the section, but since it is from the left hand side of the section, this clockwise movement has to be treated as positive. What will this P create about section 2-2? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? It will create anti-clockwise, so it has to be treated as what? So while we are dealing with the engineering mechanics, we are free to choose the sign convention of what? Of clockwise movement or anti-clockwise movement. But here we have to be careful. Because मैंने जब भी आपसे कहा ट्रस में या रिएक्शन निकालने के टाइम यू कैन चूज क्लॉकवाइज टू बी पॉजिटिव, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज टू बी नेगेटिव, और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज टू बी पॉजिटिव और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज टू बी नेगेटिव. But here we have to be pretty cautious because sign conventions are defined. Okay, left hand side of the section clockwise is positive and anti-clockwise is negative. Okay, that's why we have to take care here. But while we are finding the reactions, we can take any signs. Okay. But while we are calculating this bending moment, particularly for the bending moment, we have to be careful with the sign conventions. So Ay into X2, what is the distance between P and this section? It will be X2 minus 5. This is X2, this is 5. So this distance will be X2 minus 5. So P will create an anti-clockwise movement, and from the left hand side of the section, anti-clockwise movement is negative. Ay is how much? 350 minus 600 X2 So this section was taken between B and C, therefore it will give us the bending moments at any section between B and C. This section 2-2 was between B and C, therefore we will be able to locate find the magnitude of the bending moment at C and B. Now bending moment at C, which means X2 is how much? That will be equal to minus 250 into 5 plus 3000. It will be equal to how much? 1750 after solving, is it? Okay, 1250 minus 3000, it is 1750. Is it the same bending moment which we obtained in the previous slide? Bending moment at C, okay, is 1750, and when we are dealing with this section between C and B, first section was between A and C, second is between C and B, we got the same value of the bending moment. Now we want to find the bending moment where at B. If we have to find the bending moment at B, what we have to put the value of X2? X2 is measured from here. It will be how much? 12. So minus 250 into 12 plus 3000. It will be equal to how much? 0. Okay. So bending moment at B is equal to 0. Supports by bending moment will be 0. So we have found these shear forces and the bending moments at different sections. Now let's draw its diagram. That's important. The shear force diagram and the bending moment diagram. Let's draw the shear force diagram first. This is the reference axis. X is defined from here. What was the shear force at A? Shear force at A. See the previous slides. It was equal to how much? 350, because we had a reaction of 350 here. Okay. Although I told you it will be just to the right of A, but as per the books, we have to take it. The shear force here will be equal to 350. It will remain constant up to what point? Up to the point C, it will remain constant because there is no load acting from section A to C. Okay. No other load apart from this reaction AY. So shear force will remain constant up to this point. What was the shear force at C? Minus 250, because 350 is here. Another load of how much? 600 is acting here, which makes its value to what? 250. It is towards the minus. Okay. Here we have positive shear forces and downwards are negative. After that, this shear force remains constant, isn't it? For this section, from C to B, there isn't any other force acting. This shear force C is just to the right of C. And if we take any section here, just to the right of C or away from the C, up to the point B, there won't be any other shear force. Therefore, it will remain constant. What is acting here at B? At B, we have a reaction of what? 250. Therefore, we just close this diagram here. So this will be positive and this will be negative. Now the bending moment diagram. What was the bending moment at A? The bending moment at A was 0. So this is A. This is actually C. This is A. This is C. And this is B. The bending moment here is 0. What was bending moment at C? C 7 1750. So bending moment at C is equal to 1750. How should I join them? I have to draw the diagram. How should I join them? See the variation of the bending moment with the length of the beam. See that equation. Bending moment at the section 1-1 was defined by which equation? Bending moment at section Y1 was 1-1 was defined by the equation AY into X1. What kind of equation is this? It's a linear. Therefore, it will be joined with what? Straight line. This has to be joined with the straight line. This is joined with the straight line. What was the bending moment at B? What was the bending moment at B? It was 0. So again, in this section, which section? Section 2-2. What was the variation of the bending moment? In the section 2-2, what was the variation of the bending moment? You can see that this was varying as minus 250 plus 3000. It is the equation. Again, it is the equation of straight line. So with the increase of, I mean to say, जब ये increase होगा x2, if x2 is increasing, will the bending moment increase or decrease? From this equation, it's clear that this bending moment will go on what? Decreasing, because we have negative sign here. Okay, it is a minus sign. Therefore, from this onwards, what will happen? The bending moment will go on decreasing and it will reach 0 where? B. Again, we have to connect it with what? Straight line. So what becomes the critical section as far as the bending moment is concerned? Section C is critical. from bending point of view, because it is subjected to the maximum bending moment and it will be subjected to maximum bending stress. So if in between 2 point loads, there isn't any load acting, okay? We have 1 point load at A and another point load at C. The shear force will remain constant during that time. Fine. The shear force will remain constant. But what will be the variation of the bending moment? It will vary linearly. It will vary linearly. C again, between C and B, there wasn't any point load. Okay, we had a point load at C and a reaction at B. That is between these 2 point loads. What is remaining constant? The shear force is remaining constant, and the bending moment is varying linearly. Okay. So in our questions, we have to draw both SFD and BMD simultaneously. Let's draw the SFD and BMD for this beam. Which is a simply supported beam subjected to a UDL. Let's say that this intensity is equal to omega. What is its unit? Newton. Newton per meter. Okay. Let's say that this span of the beam is equal to L. If we draw its free body diagram, we have to remove the supports, but I won't draw that again. Let's treat this to be A, this to be B. Here we will have reaction AY. Here we will have reaction. The reaction AX I am not going to show because it is equal to 0. Now, what is the net load acting on the beam? What is the net load acting on the beam? For finding out the reactions, we can use 3 equations. AX wali zarurat nahi hai, but we can use summation of the forces in the y direction to be 0. Then the forces in the y direction are this has to be equal to what? The net load acting on the beam. And what is the net load acting on the beam? Distributed load, we have the red. What is the net load acting on the beam? Obviously, it will be equal to the area under the loading diagram. This is omega and this is L. Therefore, the net area of the loading diagram is equal to omega into L. Okay, and this will be in newtons because omega is Newton per meter, length is L, and meter will cancel out. So actually, this is AY, this is BY, and where will this point load act? If we are converting this UDL into a point load, where will it act? At the centroid. It is at the geometric center for the rectangle. This will be L by 2. This will be L by 2. So what can you say about the reactions without calculations? The reactions has to be equal. Therefore, total load is omega L. This has to be omega L by 2. This has to be. Now, to make the shear force calculations, what we have to do? We have to take a section. There are only 2 points A and B. Let's take a section at some arbitrary distance of x from A. It's an arbitrary distance x. This is section, suppose 1, 1. Thank you. Shear force at section 1.1. How we define the shear force at section 1.1? It is the algebraic sum of all the shear forces either towards right or towards left. Now we are used to see the left hand side of the section. Let's go with that. What are the forces from the left hand side of the section? Only AY? Only AY. There is also a UDL. How much UDL is acting towards the left hand side of the section? What's the magnitude of that load? Omega into X, after X. Isn't it? I'm talking after X, therefore it will be omega into X. Fine. So the shear force at section 1.1 will be equal to AY. Is it upwards? Is it upwards? Isn't it? So it should be positive or negative? It will be positive. Okay. Plus AY. What about UDL? इसका magnitude कितना है total? Up to the section X11 section, it is equal to omega into X. Okay. Omega into L is for the whole beam, but omega into X is only up to this section. Therefore, is it downwards or upwards? Downwards. It will be positive or negative. So from the left hand side of the section, all the loads are to be which are downwards are negative. Therefore, it will be equal to minus omega X. What is AY? We had found out it is equal to omega L by 2 minus X. This will give us the variation of the shear force. This will give us the variation of the shear force. Fine. This is the equation. Once we got the equation, we can find it at any point. We can find at X equal to L by 4, L by 2, L 3, L by 4. Okay, we are able to find it at any point. So it is clear how we got the shear force equation. Okay. Because I'm taking at a distance of X. So what will be the shear force at A? We can write V at A or shear force at A. That is VA. V at A means what? X is equal to 0. Therefore, our equation was omega L by 2 minus X. At X equal to 0, the shear force will be equal to omega L by 2. This is what shear force at A. Okay. Let me calculate shear force at the other end of the beam, that is B. This will be equal to what? What I have to put here? Don't disturb her. You came late. Now you're disturbing them. Omega L by 2 minus. What will be the shear force here now? Minus omega L by 2. Plus omega L by 2 at one support minus omega L by 2 at other support. Let me take a midsection. Shear force at midsection. That is shear force at midsection. For that, what I have to put? X is equal to L by 2. It will give me what? This will be equal to how much? 0. Okay, this will be equal to 0. So these are the shear force calculations. We can later on draw this diagram as well. Okay, these are the shear force calculations at different points. Now we have to do the bending moment calculations. Can you write the bending moment equation at x equal to 1, section 1, 1? Bending moment at section 1, is the algebraic sum of all the moments, including the reactions. What forces will be responsible for the moment at section 1, Tell me. Ay will be responsible for moment, and apart from that, the UDL omega x. But for the moment, we need the location as well. Where will this be located? The load which is on this section towards the left is omega x. Where will that be located? At x by 2, isn't it? Omega L will be located at L by 2. Omega x will be located at x by 2. So if I'm considering the left hand side of the section, yeah, I can put the figure again. I had taken a section here. This is section 1, It was at a distance of x. This was AY. This is BY. Fine. So for the moment calculations, I can't keep this as a UDL. I have to convert it into a point load. So this omega x will get converted into a point load, which will act where? Let me say that it is the omega x and it is acting at what distance? X by 2. Okay, forget about the UDL now. We are interested in this AY and this omega x, which is acting at a distance of x by 2. Okay, at the centroid of this loading. Okay, so since we are interested in the LHS section, from the left hand side, if I want to calculate the bending moment, at bending moment at 1, section 1. So this bending moment will be equal to AY will create a bending moment. In which direction? In which sense? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? It will create clockwise. Left hand side of the section, clockwise is what? Positive. What is the distance of the moment out for this force? Because I'm calculating about section 1, which is at a distance of x from A. Now, omega x will again create a moment about section 1. In which direction? In which sense? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? Anti-clockwise. Left hand side of the section, anti-clockwise movement is what? Negative. Minus omega x is the load, and at what distance? X by 2. This is x by 2. This will also be x by 2. Therefore, the moment arm for this bending moment will be x by 2. So it will be equal to AY. AY is how much? 350. That was previous question. It was omega L by 2 multiplied by x minus so this equation will give me the variation of the bending moment along the length of the beam. Will the bending moment variation be linear or quadratic? Parabolic. Seeing the equation, which is the highest power of x? 2. That is, the variation will be a parabolic variation. Fine, it will be a parabolic variation. So find the bending moment at A. Bending moment at A. For that, we have to put what? X is equal to what? Which means x is equal to, because I'm measuring x from A, x is equal to 0. Therefore, bending moment at A will be equal to what? 0. What will be bending moment at midsection? For that, I have to put x is equal to L by 2. That will be equal to omega L by 2 x के बदले L by 2 minus omega it will be equal to how much? Omega L square by 8, isn't it? At the midsection, it will be omega L square by 8. What will be the bending moment at B? Bending moment at B. For that, we have to put x equal to what? L. Okay. That is omega L square by 2 minus omega L square by 2. That will be 0. Put x equal to L here in the bending moment equation. We will find that this will be equal to 0. I can make it. Okay. That is पूछना है कुछ? Is it clear up to this point? कहीं भी कुछ पूछना है? कहाँ पे? Here? Okay. Omega by 2 L by 2 का square. So we got this bending moment. Okay, we got this bending moment. The bending moment equation is, let me write this bending moment equation again. What was this bending moment equation? Omega L by 2 x minus. Let me find its maximum value. Find its maximum value. Then the differentiation of, not need to take the partial derivative. For maxima and minima, we use this differential. The derivative has to be 0. Its derivative will be omega L by 2 minus omega x, isn't it? 2x and this will cancel out. That has to be 0, which means that x is equal to L by 2. What does this give us? Location of maximum bending moment. This gives us the location of the maximum bending moment. How can I say that it is maximum or minimum? I have to take another derivative, that is, this is now constant, it will be minus omega. Okay, differentiation of minus omega x is minus omega, and this will be 0 because it is constant. So this came out to be negative. This means that, is this bending moment maximum condition of maximum or minimum? When second derivative comes out to be negative, it is the condition of maxima. Okay, therefore x is equal to L by 2 gives me the location of the maximum bending moment. See here, bending moment at A was how much? 0. Bending moment at B is 0. Bending moment at my midsection is how much? Omega L square by 8, and it is maximum. Therefore, we can say that from A to midsection, it will go on increasing because it will reach a maximum where? At midsection, and then it will go on decreasing so that it becomes 0 at what? B. So if we are trying to draw the SFD and BMD for this, is this clear? Because I can't predict the behavior unless and until I don't know where is the bending moment. I found out bending moment at midsection is equal to how much? Omega L square by 8. But I needed to find the maximum location where this is maximum. I got that it is maximum at what? Okay, only then I can draw the curve. I won't be able to draw the curve unless and until I don't know where is the maximum bending moment. Fine. So shear force diagram. What was shear force at A? It was positive omega L by 2. What was shear force at this support? Minus omega L by 2, therefore it will be downwards. What was shear force at the midsection? 0. So how should be the variation of the shear force? The shear force was, the variation was what? It was linear variation. If you remember the equation of the shear force, it varied linearly with the x. Therefore, it won't remain constant here. It will, first of all, decrease to 0, and then its magnitude will increase in the reverse direction to minus L by 2. This will be the, this is the location of L by 2. Okay, the shear force at midsection is 0. Okay, this is the shear force diagram for it. What about bending moment? It was 0 at A, 0 at B. Maximum kahan pe tha? At the midsection, it was maximum. What was its value at the midsection? Omega L square by 8. Should I join them with a straight line? It is a parabolic, okay, linear, this quadratic equation. Okay, so this has to be joined with the parabola. There are two parabolas. Don't draw this first. One can be this kind of parabola. Second can be this parabola. Which parabola should I draw? First one or second one? I will come. Which parabola should I draw? First or second? What is the difference between these two parabola? First one, the parabola jo slope hai, that is, the slope is increasing, isn't it? For the first parabola, slope is decreasing. How will we find the slope? Draw the tangent. Tangent. See here, the slope of the tangent is decreasing. So first parabola is of the decreasing slope, and second is of what? Increasing slope. Draw the tangent. Here is less slope. Here is slope. So its slope depends upon what is the variation of the shear force from A to B, A to midsection. Sorry, A to midsection. Is shear force increasing from A to midsection or decreasing? The shear force is decreasing, isn't it? Here we have omega L by 2, and here we have 0. Since shear force is decreasing, the parabola which I should draw should have decreasing slope. So first one draw karna hoga ki second one? First one had the decreasing slope. This is the parabola which I should draw here. Clear? Second parabola has to be drawn from midsection to this point B. This is A. Two parabola can be drawn, increasing slope and decreasing slope. Which should I draw here? What is the shear force? Is it increasing or decreasing? It is increasing. Don't look at the sign. It is, magnitude is increasing. Then I should draw the parabola whose slope is increasing. So see the slope of this parabola. Initially it is what? Yahan se yahan tak. Pehle kam slope hai, and it goes on increasing. Since shear force goes on increasing from x is equal to L by 2 to x is equal to L, then the slope of the parabola from x is equal to L by 2 to x equal to L should also increase. Okay, so this is a parabola of decreasing slope. Decreasing from where? From 0 to L by 2. What? This is increasing from 0 to L by 2 to L. Okay, this becomes a dome shaped structure. Okay, this is complete sagging, positive bending moment. So this midsection becomes the critical section as far as the bending is concerned.